boys and girls. This is Miss Mumford, and today for our poetry lesson, we're going to be learning about another type of poetry, and these are called cinquains. So your goal after this lesson is that you'll be able to use nouns, verbs, and adjectives to write a cinquain. What is a cinquain poem? It is an unrhymed poem consisting of 5 lines arranged in a special way. For example, this is an example of a cinquain poem. Insect, hidden, hungry, preening, searching, stalking, waits as if praying, mantis. So, what makes it a cinquain poem? Does not rhyme, has 5 lines, and the best part about it, it only has 11 words in the entire poem. So, it's a pretty short poem. So, let's talk about the lines of a cinquain poem. For each line, there's a certain thing that criteria that it has to meet. For example, line 1 has to be one word and it's a noun, which is your title. Line 2 has to be 2 words and there are adjectives, which are words that describe the title. Line 3 is 3 words, which are verbs or actions words for the title. And line 4 is a 4-word phrase describing a feeling or statement about your noun. And then the line 5 is a 1-word. It's a synonym or another word for your noun. Remember, a synonym is a word that means the same as what you're talking about. For example, insects, bugs, bees, those can all be categorized the same. So, a synonym for an insect might be a bug. All right, let's talk about the first and the last words in the cinquain first. So the first and the last words in the cinquain are what we call kind of general topic words. Like they pretty much mean the same, just a different way of saying it. So whatever you say for the first word, first line, it's going to be a different way of saying it for the second line. So for example, I might have bird, you might have bird as your first line, and that synonym for bird might be a name of a bird like a parrot. Or you might your topic might be a fruit, and your last word might be apple, which is an example of a fruit. You might first word might be season, and then you might end it with an example of a season, which is spring. You might talk about winter, and then you know winter is in January. So that might be your synonym for winter. Candy might be your first line, and jawbreaker is a type of candy, would be your on your 5th line. You might say storm as your topic or your main idea as your first word. And a type of storm would be a tornado as your last word. Water might be your first word, and some type of water is a river. And then the last one is where you might say grandma is your beginning, and then another word for grandma might be, or your grandparent might be your nana or your papa. So those are like your first and last words are like words that relate to each other, mean exactly the same or similar. So let's review nouns, verbs, and adjectives because those are really important to know in order to write your cinquain. So remember, noun is a person, place, or thing, such as Miss Little, Florence, South Carolina, Carver School, airplane, cat, dog. Those are all nouns, things that you can see, touch, feel. So those are nouns. Your action verb or your verb is things that you can do. You can crawl, you can fly, you can read, you can run, you can laugh, you can think, you can talk. So those are your verbs, things that you can do. Your adjective, remember, are describing words. They tell how something looks. Like, is it yellow? Is it pink? Is it hot? Is it wet? Is it small, shiny, colorful, brave? Those are all adjectives describing something. So let's look at some words and decide whether they're a noun, a verb, or an adjective. So let's look at the first one, pretty. So let's think about it. Noun is a person, place, thing. Pretty is not a person, a place, or a thing. So we know it's not a noun. Verb. Can you do it? Is it an action? Can you pretty something? No. And the adjective is a word that describes how something looks. Can something be pretty? So we know now pretty is an adjective. Let's look at sing. Is it a noun, verb, or an adjective? If you said verb, you are correct because you can sing. It is an action word. What about beach? Is that a noun, a verb, or an adjective? Is it a person, place, or thing? Is it something you can do, an action, or is it describing something? If you said beach is a noun, you are correct. It's a place. You go to the beach. Pencil, a noun, verb, or an adjective. If you said noun, you are correct. Friendly. Let's think about that one. Noun, verb, or adjective. Friendly. Is that a person, place, or thing? Nope. Verb. Is it an action word? Or is it an adjective? Is it describing something? It is an adjective because it's describing someone. He's a friendly boy. Laugh. Noun, verb, or adjective. If you said verb, you are correct. Now that you have learned what we need to write a Cinquain, I'm going to write a Cinquain. I'm going to log into Google Classroom and create a Cinquain just like you will have to do for your assignment today. So I got to remember all of those things about my lines, what needs to be in each one, what my adjective is, what my nouns are, what my verbs are. That way I can get full credit for my Cinquain. So when you open up your assignment in Google Classroom, and it's going to take you to the Class Kick assignment, your first slide is going to be a review of the nouns, adjectives, and verbs. So you can just kind of look at this. And so just remind yourself what nouns are, what verbs are, and what adjectives are. If you need to refer back to it, you can go back to this page. If you need to listen to the directions, which is this, you can click on the play to listen to it, and then you're going to go to slide 2. So you're going to review nouns, verbs, and adjectives on this slide, and then write and read your Cinquain on slide 2. So I'm going to go to slide 2, and it is already outlined for you for your Cinquain, and it has under it to remind you kind of what you need to put on each line. So first thing I need to do is put my name, the date, and then I got to decide what my topic will be. I think I'm going to write about pets. I already know kind of what my ending is going to be, but I want to see if you can figure it out. So I have pets. First adjective or words to describe the pet that I'm talking about. Oh, not there. Colorful. Daily. Then I need some verbs to describe some things that my pet can do. Notice all of my verbs start with end in ing because that's the kind of like it's almost like you're seeing my pet doing these things. My pet is swimming, gliding, breathing. So make sure that you add ing to those. And then 4 words, a 4 word sentence or phrase to describe or how I'm feeling about the pet. Oh, love was on that line. To watch them. Remember, this is just a 4 word phrase or 4 word sentence about it. Notice there are any periods anywhere. And then my noun at the end is another word for my pet or even naming my pet. Have you guessed what my pet is? You said fish. You were right. All right. So this is my Cinquain. So once I've written it, remember you need to record yourself reading it. So you're going to click on the microphone, record yourself reading it. You're going to hit start to record it. Then you're going to hit stop and save. Once you're done reading the whole poem, then you want to listen to it. If you like the sound of it, you're good and done with it. If you don't, you're going to hit the trash can and start over. Remember to go back into Google Classroom and mark as done or turn in when you are done. Have fun and be creative.